Shetland. It has been home to a unique breed of Shetland sheep for centuries now. Its rugged cliffs and bleak and barren landscape has been shaped by all that nature can throw at it. Everything from wet, stormy conditions with 100-mile-an-hour winds and 40-feet waves 1 minute to dry spells with no rain the next. These extreme conditions are home to Shetland's own hardy breed of sheep, most likely originally brought over by the Vikings as they settled and farmed here. How convenient and easy it is in Shetland to pop along one of our yarn shops and to pick up some 100% Shetland wool in an amazing array of colours. But let's for a moment stop and think about what goes on behind the scenes to produce even a single ball of 100% Shetland wool. So let's introduce you to this pretty fellow born today and watch him being introduced to his mother, who seems a bit unsure about what to do as this is her first ever lamb. Shetland sheep are hardy animals, ideally suited to the terrain in Shetland because they're nimble and light. They're bred for both their meat and their fleece. They like to graze on heather and seaweed without the need for additional feed, and Shetland sheep are good mothers, being able to lamb themselves out in the hills entirely unaided. We'll meet these two later on to see the progress of the lamb and to see the process of turning the mother's fleece into a ball of wool. The average staple length of a Shetland fleece is 3.5 inches. The finest wool is around the neck and the shoulders, the average diameter of this wool being about 10 to 20 microns. Coarser wool can be found on the hind legs, averaging at about 25 to 35 microns. I don't know a lot about what makes a fleece the best, but I do know that a good fleece grader is looking for the quality of the crimp. There is a correlation between the fineness of the wool and the crimp being the important factor in providing the bounce required for knitwear. Shetlanders like Oliver Henry, who grades wool for J&S, are experts in judging what makes a prize-winning fleece. So let's take a trip to Fulla to see some unique Fulla sheep. Fulla, due to its isolation, is famous for its exceptionally pure strain of native Shetland sheep. There have been no imports of other sheep to the island, meaning that no cross-breeding has taken place, unlike in other parts of Shetland. Fulla sheep are hardy and used to living in extreme conditions and are free to roam unfenced. They're completely unmodernised and therefore characterised by the diversity of their colours and markings. I came back from Fulla with all of my pockets stuffed full, as I could not bear to pass by such amazing multicoloured henty-laggets. In the past, the removal of the fleece was all done by hand by a process called ruin. Pure Shetland sheep tend to shed their fleece in the spring. The growth of the new fleece can cause a rise or a weak point between the old and the new, allowing the fleece to be plucked or rued by hand. The rued fleece, although labour intensive, can be among the softest because the fibres have no harsh cut ends as can happen with a sheared fleece. The arrival of shears was a much appreciated advancement for both the sheep and the shearers. I remember watching when I was a bairn with amazement at the speed and skill of the local crofters removing the fleeces by hand with shears. So, here we are back meeting with Peary Lamb again, and as you can see, he's grown quite a bit fatter in the last 2.5 months. I'm now having a quick lesson in sheep shearing with electric clippers from our good friend and neighbour, crofter Hubert. And now I've been given the job of shearing the fleece for Peary Lamb's midder. For the past 30 years, electric clippers have been used, speeding up the process to just a few minutes and revolutionising clip day. A shearer with electric clippers can clip hundreds of sheep a day and make it look very easy. It is, however, back-breaking work and no less skilled as using shears, as you have to remove the fleece evenly and as a whole, following the contours of the sheep without causing injury, and to hold the animal still at the same time. It's really not as easy as it looks, and I don't think I'm going to be as much help to Hubert as I had hoped to be. After the fleece has been removed, then any dirt in the fleece needs to be got rid of. There's also usually a build-up of vegetation and heather around the neck that needs to be picked out. This is known in Shetland as fuggage. Then the fleeces are laid out, rolled up and packed into bags. I love to watch newly shorn, dazzling white sheep reunite with their lambs and head off to the hills again, relieved of their heavy fleeces. Sometimes after being clipped, it does take quite a bit of time for the lambs to find their mothers again, as they don't recognise them with their fleece off. The distinctive smell of oo being packed tightly into bags on a hot day is very nostalgic for me. The wool is then transported to one of our yarn producers where it is graded. I believe grades 1 and 2 are made into wool, and grade 3, being a bit coarser, is used for things like carpets. The next step in the process is teasing and carding. Sections of the fleece is tased, as we would say in Shetland, to open up the wool staples. Carding, using hand cards, would have been done about the night by women of all ages in the family. This involves gently brushing the wool one way and then the other way until the fibres are aligned in the same direction. Eventually producing rowers or rolags ready to spin. To learn more about spinning, I paid a visit to one of Shetland's finest hand spinners, Elizabeth Johnston, for a lesson in how yarn is traditionally spun. She explained to me that most spinning in Shetland was done by hand right up until World War II. After the war, fleeces were weighed and sent to places like Hunters of Brora in the Highlands, and crofters would get their wool sent back to them in hanks. This increased production by freeing up a lot more time for knitting. Elizabeth spins her yarn straight from the fleece in the traditional manner. Without any industrial processing, the yarn that she produces is very strong and hard wearing. So what are you doing with your right hand and your left? What's the difference?
My right hand is holding it tight while I draft and then letting the twist down. My left hand is always open and loose. So that because the threads I'm pulling are coming right for down here. So if I hold both of them tight, the twisting, you can't pull.
Okay.
And you can't bracket because it's strong.
It's amazing. And your feet is keeping the wheel going at a steady pace.
Yeah, and you can, and you vary that. If you hit it a bit that you need to, that's coming out thicker, you want to thin it a bit, you have to slow your foot down. As you keep spinning, if you keep pedalling, you're always putting twist in. If you put in too much twist, then you can't get it drawn out.
So the wheel is putting the twist in as you go then?
The wheel puts the twist in and winds it on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I do
is
make it
a certain thickness and then
draw it between my hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I do. Okay. So the ones tight with the right hand, out the top or underneath, whatever way, and loose with that, and just pull.
Okay.
That's
so
it. And then when you slaps that, slap this one, and let the twist go down, and you untwist to that, go down. Thick bits doesn't matter. I'm gonna turn the wheel. Now put the hand closer into the wheel. That'll wind it on. No.
So just pull.
Mm-hmm.
And slide my hand along?
No, just move that one up.
Move this one up. So I'm not to slide this in, no, head on.
Just slap it.
Head on. So what hand am I moving then? I'm not clear on this. If I'm just keep moving this in.
Pull your man back and then you move. There was doing it.
Was I?
Yeah. Don't think too much, but just smooth that out a lot.
Too much. Mm-hmm.
And the twist has gone up to
yeah,
here.
Yeah, I see.
So that frees it up.
So keep this in slack and pull.
Yeah, and slap.
Oh, gee whiz. Nah, I'm ruining your fleece. I just can feel it's wide, is it no? Too wide, too thick.
It's fine. There's no jumper weight, it might be double knitting.
Oh, no, it's too thick. I'm ruining your fleece.
There's plenty fleece.
Is it all you do to apply?
Well, no.
She has to put it back through on the sweary box.
Yeah, tie your nails so they stay together.
So why can I not work with a shoe like this? Does it just have to be something we grip at the bottom of?
You want to be pasted, your foot wants to be pasted the pedal. And then you feel it better. There you go.
Well, I'm thrilled.
See?
It's beautiful. Yeah, Yunbut's good. If I could just get some evenness, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, Yun's good.
Know my butt.
John Sinclair in the 1700s described Shetland wool as having the gloss and softness of silk, the strength of cotton, the whiteness of linen, and the warmth of wool. Shetland wool, a truly special product.